Hello there everyone and welcome to a new review on the channel. And today we will be looking at another magic app, or more so something that your spectators will never actually see as an app because it works almost entirely on their phone for the most part of the routine. But of course we are talking, as you saw by the title, a very witty title as well. This is the MentaLIST app by MysteryPK. This is really good, and I just like the simplicity of it. That's why I really love this routine, and I can't wait to talk more about it to you right after the intro. Excellent, so you decide to stick around, which means you want to learn more about MentaLIST. So what is this effect? This effect is essentially the way that I would do it, and the way that the main routine is presented is you take out your phone and you say, look, I want us to try something here. I'm going to make a prediction on my phone, okay? I'll make a prediction and can you look at me? I'll make a prediction of a brand. You know what? I'll make a prediction of a brand and I'll just write it here and you type it on your phone and say, look, I'll place that right down there. I'll even lock the phone. And leave it on the table so you don't think that a phone can pick up anything that we're saying or anything like that, because it is locked. So what I want you to do is I want you to take out your phone, and you're not touching the phone at any point right now. Take out your phone and go type top 100 brands Forbes. Like, let's go for the most common list because the one that gets updated the most. Top 100 brands on Forbes. Do you see the link? Perfect. Click on the link, and it is the actual Forbes website. So keep that in mind. There's no fake link, fake URL, nothing like that. It is the legitimate Forbes website on their phone. So you say, excellent. So before you actually go through, it's obviously a top 100 list. So what we're going to do is you're going to think of a number from 1 to 100. Did you see what number 1 is on the list? Be honest with me. You did. Okay, so don't go for number 1 because I don't want it to be something that you've seen. Go for another number. So just say it right now. 65. So number 65. Excellent. So in a moment, I'm going to have you scroll down to number 65. Okay? Or, but before you do that, look, I'll just take my phone. You open up your phone and you say, look, we'll go to my notes. And can you see here it says top 100 predictions, right? And I'm putting this in front of you because I don't want you to think this is going to change anything. So I actually want you to read my prediction before you scroll down. They'll read and it says, you will name any number from 1 to 100. And I guarantee you that I can influence you to end on McDonald's. I hope this worked. So you say, that was my prediction that I wrote to you before we even started. You named any number. There's only one brand at that number. Scroll on your phone. They go down to their phone and it will be McDonald's. And that is one of the routines that you can do. Now, I like to show my prediction before they actually scroll on their phone. However, you can do it the other way around. Your phone can stay on the table the entire time. You say number 65, scroll to number 65 and look at the brand, but do not say it out loud. I don't want you to think that anyway, I'm picking up on anything. Don't say the brand out loud. Excellent. I have a prediction on my phone. You open your phone, you say, look, on my notes app, it says top 100 predictions. Click on it and it says, is McDonald's. Show your phone, what is number 65, McDonald's. You can do it that way. So don't think that my phone is somehow changing the website live or anything like that. It doesn't. The prediction that you put in place can be shown before they scroll their phone or after. It really doesn't matter. So that is what MentaLIST will allow you to do. It will allow you to predict any brand, celebrity, or a bunch of different things that you want, because this really is meant to be developed by you as well. Because yes, he gives you a few lists to get started, but you can definitely make your own list, and even tells you how you could achieve that if you want to put the time in. So now that we know what this is, let's talk about where you buy this, how much does it cost, and what do you get. You can get this directly from MysteryPK. His website is down below, or you can just type MentaLIST MysteryPK and you'll find the effect. It's going to be the first link on Google or Safari or whatever engine that you use. The app will set you back around 60 to 65 USD, and the reason I say around that is because my website automatically refreshes it and mods the price to the Canadian currency automatically. So I can't tell you exactly the price in USD, but I can tell you that in Canadian it is $93. That's with tax and with everything. So $93 is around 60 or so, 65 USD. And what you get with your purchase is you will get a specific thing that will allow you on your phone to do this prediction. Now, before I continue, I do have to mention a few things. One, this is an iPhone only effect, so no Android for this trick, only iPhone. Second of all, is that you're not installing an app. You're installing kind of the trend right now when it comes to mentalism effects or magic apps. You're installing one of those on your phone, which will allow you to do the effect. Third of all, the prediction doesn't have to be in your notes. It can also be a picture of a fortune cookie in your pictures. Personally, I think the notes one is fantastic because it gives you a reason to type on your phone, to have your phone, to open it, etc. I personally really like the notes version, but you can also have a notes and picture version. You can say, but in case you think I somehow typed that right here, how about you take a look at my pictures, boom, and you have an extra kicker. It can be done like that. Another thing that you need to know is that this has multiple inputs. You have a free input, which is the one that personally I use. You have a hidden input in your notes. You have another input, which is with a remote as well. And you also have kind of, as always, you have the input if you have someone, a helper or anything like that, they can help you as well with the effect. But personally, I use the free input. It works perfectly fine for me. And the last thing that you need to know is that you do need inject in order to do this effect. So inject is needed if you want to do certain variations of the effect, but don't worry, MysteryPK he even says that if you don't own inject, he can give you a custom API that will help you just achieve the effect. So do keep all of this in mind before purchasing. Everything is said brilliantly in the ad copy, so there's no hidden features or anything like that. You can just read the ad copy and you'll be good to go. So now that we've covered all of that, let's get into difficulty. How difficult is this to perform? This is super easy to perform. Now, if you do it with the programmed, with the programmed lists that they already give you, then all you have to literally do is present the effect. Nothing else to do. Almost the effect works itself except for one small moment where you actually have, if you do the way that I do it, you have to take your phone and unlock it in order to show them the notes. Except for that, there's nothing really going on with this. The spectators are free to do anything because, as I said, there's no NFC tags, there's no fake websites, there's no fake APIs, there's no loading anything on the spectator's phone, there's no redirecting the spectator to fake Forbes website or anything like that. It is legitimately happening on the legitimate Forbes website, okay? So difficulty-wise, it is super, super, super easy to do, and depending on the method that you do, it can become even easier or just a tiny bit more complicated. But trust me, it is no problem whatsoever. In terms now of practicality, what do you need to do this effect? You will need what I mentioned above, so an iPhone, an inject, etc., etc. But your spectator will also need their phone. The spectator's phone can be any phone that you want. LG, Android, Google, iPhone, Motorola, whatever you want. It could even be an iPad, it could even be a laptop. The person on what you're doing the effect to can literally go on the Forbes website on whatever they want. If they even have, let's say, a Nintendo DS, they could probably go on the Nintendo DS or on their PlayStation at home. So you get the idea. I'm going overboard in this hyperbole, but anything that they can access internet with, this effect will work on them. Okay, but you will need an internet connection and them too. Okay, in terms of angles, the angles are pretty good depending on the routine that you do. They're from 180 to 360. In terms of inspectability, your phone is fully inspectable. Of course, you're not going to let them butcher everything in your phone for this, but your Notes app is ungimmicked. There's no fake Notes app. It's on your legitimate Notes app. They can look through your Notes app as much as they want. They can look through the Forbes website as much as they want. It is, foolproof. There's nothing to inspect and nothing they can backtrack on your phone or on their phone for that matter. In terms of table, you do not need a table. And in terms of reset, the reset is instant. You just delete the note that you did for one spectator and then you go perform it for another one. And that's it. Now let's talk about where would you perform this. This can be performed anywhere, really. This could be performed even social media, if you want, you could definitely get away with this in social media, and by social media, I mean like Zoom magic, like interactive virtual magic. You can definitely do it like that, but you can also do it close up, table hopping, cabaret parlor, stage, wherever you want. You can achieve this effect and complete it with brio. So now that we've covered all of those boxes, let's get into the positives and negatives of this routine. First of all, the negatives. What are the negatives of this? One negative is that, of course, you will need an iPhone to perform it, as with a lot of app-based magic, because of this new trend in what the iPhone allows with one specific feature. It allows so many brilliant ideas to be done on an iPhone that cannot be done on most, if not any, of the Android devices. So that is something that you need to keep in mind. And the third thing that you also need to do is that if you want, you can make your own list, but it will take a bit of time, and you need to make sure that it's a stable list. It's not a list that's getting updated constantly, etc., etc. He does talk to you about it in the tutorials and in the videos and what you need to know. So, that is something to keep in mind. It is a bonus, but it's also something you need to know, is that you don't want to get into a case where you make the effect and it's on an actually fully updatable website such as Wikipedia, where your prediction will not necessarily work. So that's just to keep in mind. In the positives, however, the effect is super easy to do. It's practical. It's a fooler. It's kind of a digital force bag, but instead of forcing it, you're predicting it. So it's really interesting because you don't actually know what's on there even when the specter is searching for it. So you have no clue, which is fantastic. It's ingenious. It works super well. It's super deceptive. The customer service from MysteryPK, as always with all of his effects, is fantastic. It's commercial. If you have a specific company that you want to do this to, I'm sure that you can go on their website and find a list of anything they have on their website. It doesn't have to be 100 things. It could literally be top 20. Let's say someone on the website wrote a blog, top 20 things that we are looking for in a new candidate. You can literally customize the effect to affirm to anything that you want if you have the required skills to do it, right? I'm mentioning this if you have the required skills to do it. But if you can, that's fantastic. It's, and it is something that will fool your spectators, in my opinion, because of how free it is. So having said all of this, what do I rate this out of 10 and what do I give it and would I recommend it? Would I recommend this? Yes, I think if you're a mentalist, this is a brilliant opener. It's quick, it's snappy, it's on their phone. It doesn't involve cards or billets or anything like that. It's just quick. And technically, this isn't an effect that relies on technology. Yes, there's some technology involved, but in the eye of the spectator, it doesn't really rely on technology. And what's also fun is that if you perform this so much, you'll probably start to remember the actual list by heart. If you actually perform this every single gig and at every single person you see, by the end, you won't even need your phone. You could just mentally read their mind and you won't even need the prediction. You can just say, think of any number, okay? Go to that number, boom, and you tell them what it is. If that inclines you, you could do it, but that is all to say that I do recommend this, and I'm giving MentaLIST by MysteryPK an 8.5 on 10. I hope that you found this review useful, and I'll see you all in my next one. Have a good one, and bye-bye.